probably 75, 80,
Yeah.
100 years old.
Original farm field time.
Call the meeting to order, stand for the pledge.
So nothing that we had anything to do
I
with.
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of agenda.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any discussion?
Nope.
If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay. Approved minutes from regular meeting March 24th.
Move to approve.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved bills, accounts payable dated April 2nd, regular 298, 895.65. EFTs are 81, 832.09, total of 387, 27.74.
I move they be approved.
Support.
A minute to look at them.
Yeah, I got one question.
Go for it.
I can't find it here, but Green Mark, you had to buy a chainsaw.
We've bought a new one.
I thought, I see
Yeah,
$899.
they aren't cheap.
No.
That's one of the bigger ones to take care of some of the bigger trees, so
Yep. I thought you probably wore one out there.
they continually, we didn't like lose or damage one, it's just another one to help.
Didn't fall a tree on one.
No, didn't drop anything off a truck or nothing.
I've seen that happen before.
AIS Construction, $27,000, that's winter maintenance and inspection. What does that entail?
That was for the distributor
This
or
wasn't for the, is the hiring group lit to have that inspected?
not for that much.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was to go through it annually, you know, clean the
Go
Clean
through
the-
what?
the distributor, the emulsion distributor, the sprays,
Okay, there we go. Now you're talking language that I can understand.
the black sticky stuff comes out.
Yep, no, I didn't have to go that far, anyway.
But that's
Okay,
the distributor, it's an annual thing, and they did find some issues that they fixed while it was there, and so that's why it was a little higher than usual, but that's usually a pretty good size annual thing anyway.
thank you.
Anything else? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I see that we had some shingle replacement from Raymond Roofing for $277. To me, that brings up this question, I assume some blew off or something? When were the roofs on these barns done, and what's the plan of replacing them?
I don't know, and I don't know.
You might wanna get back with me on that. As I drove in, I think I must have seen those shingle replacements, and I was like, and I thought, I wonder how old that roof is, so.
I would have to guess that that's the original roof, and I forget what year they said they built that barn. We were looking at this roof too,
Okay,
but so far, we thought there were shingles off of this roof, but they blew over from that over
Okay.
here.
okay,
So,
alright, so I guess sometime an update on that,
Right.
and something needs to be taken care of or whatever.
So Bob, do you know when the buildings here were built?
94, I think.
so they've seen their better part of
Yeah.
the life.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Payroll dated March 26th, $138,576.50. April 8th, $166,336.90.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
I didn't get a chance to show you.
I see that. Cause I would have remembered that.
Thanks, Jim.
This will take care of it.
Treasurer's report.
Beginning cash and investment balance is $2,871,510.81. Total receipts was $997,327.01. Total in bills and payroll is $685,644.30. CD reserve for 2 trucks is $703,473.76. Ending available fund balance is $2,479,719.76. And outstanding accounts payable, we have a credit of $629.46.
Any questions?
So, are we seeing any of the new money start to come in from the state now yet?
Not yet.
Okay, same as presented, thank you. Doesn't appear yet. We'll go to public comment. Any comment?
I was in the door last, so these guys, I'm sure, got comments, questions. Do I have questions? How about you, dude?
Oh, I got questions.
You wanna go first?
Yeah.
Just a comment or just an ask?
Comment.
On that Harmon Road deal with the water, you say there's a tile there, you don't know how long it's been there. Can't you just dig up what's broke and fix it, or is it,
We don't know yet.
okay? Cause I know the owner of that property, I was at his house yesterday and I was like, what the heck's going on? He goes, oh, we have no idea. And I said, well, I'm going to road commission meeting tomorrow, so I'll try to figure out if they know anything. I said, it's probably a drain commission problem, but who knows?
Yeah.
So, okay. That's my question for now. I got more later, so.
I'll try to answer some of that and,
I'll listen. We'll work a deal here, hopefully, so.
Anything?
Well, I got 2 requests. You want a request now? So,
What's your name?
Jody, Yoder,
Okay.
you're a Boyd, right?
I'm not a Boyd.
Oh, okay.
She's somewhere else in the office.
Yeah, well, that's relation down the pike. So anyway, live at 14005 U Drive North, it's on the east side of Lake Diane. I live on the View Drive North, which is off the T Road there, off Dale Drive. You got about 125 feet, 150 feet, and it turns into a private road. And nice gesture, the county drives back in there in the winter, turns around, depending on the driver, sometimes they wall around, sometimes they stay on the road. This time they made 3 trips back in there. When the first guy done a beautiful job, second 2 guys busted the asphalt all to pieces along the edge. And I've got pictures to show you what that asphalt looks like. Now, I can fix spots because they broke them that far away because they didn't stay on the road. Set of duals was off. I mean, it's not that hard to stay on the road. I wrestle equipment around all the time, so it's not that hard. I'll fix it. I'll tar the edges, try to pull it back together, try to get the neighbors to put a little bit of stone over the berm on the other side, so if that happens again, it doesn't. But I would really like people to stay out of there. I don't know why they can't turn left, back up in there to where the sign says private road, drop the gear, shove it off in the middle, cause I usually plow the road if I get to it before they do. I go clear out to Dale Drive, simply because that private was paid for, and I know the integrity of all them roads is not quite shit, but it's close. So we try to keep things as long as we can. So, second thing is on the same spot, there's a county cul-de-sac there, which you and I have discussed before, because I wanted it closed. Last year I was here and asked about closing that road, and you told me the peculiarities that would come along with closing that little section of the road, making it all private. There's cul-de-sac there. Well, there's a big willow tree that sits right there. 3 years ago, when consumers come out, their tree trimmers left that tree alone, even though they'd done everything else. I asked them why. They said it wasn't on their agenda. That was Davy. It wasn't on their agenda to do that tree. So somebody in the neighborhood went over there and knocked some of the crap off the side of it with a pole saw. And now I've contacted consumers numerous times about getting out there and clearing up, because now it's growing around the electric line. Around the electric line. You know how willows do. You know, they're absolute pain in the ass tree to deal with. So I request that you come out and trim that damn thing up before it tears down the power line. And then my generator kicks on, then I go through 25 gallons every 24 hours.
You told
And I
that-
have to send the county a bill for this because
You told that to the
stupidity.
consumers?
I asked them to fix it and they said, we would get to it, and that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, we
And
can't,
I've called them a couple times since, and then I talked to the Davy guy that's just out there because they're gonna replace some poles. And I asked him what could be the issue of why I haven't got a call back, why it hasn't been on the agenda to trim that thing up good. He'd take the whole damn thing out. I was under the assumption, seeing how it was on county cul-de-sac, because that's a cul-de-sac right there. It's not a ditch, that's a cul-de-sac. That it would be your responsibility to take care of.
it's in the wires. We can't cut it.
Okay, it's
Yeah, our guys
growing,
aren't allowed
it's
to,
growing in the wires.
touch the wires.
Consumers has to cut it.
So if somehow miraculously they was cleaned off them wires, you guys could come out and pull it out, take it out of there?
If it's still within, if it's too close where that's gonna hit the wire in some form or
Yeah,
fashion, we won't.
yeah,
We won't.
pull it.
Yeah, no.
This is what,
Let me talk with you after,
okay,
and we'll go
Alright.
out and take a look and
alright.
see the actual.
Well, and I wanna talk to you about another issue anyway.
Okay.
So,
Can we get consumers, can we put some pressure on
We
consumers?
can call them, yeah, we call them quite often, but,
well, it just needs taken out. Willows are just crap trees.
so is that on,
A lot of
is that
water.
on your property there,
No,
the,
it's on that cul-de-sac.
but whose property?
It's the county's cul-de-sac right there. Or the townships or whoever.
Alright.
Remember, it just comes down there and it goes in, there's a little park right there. Yeah, I'd have to refresh your memory.
Okay, we'll look at that,
Yeah,
cause we can't just go in and cut a tree on somebody else's property, cause people own out to the center of the road. And
but you got access
we have right of way
right away.
to work on the
And
road,
I've
not the
seen that,
wire.
I've seen that exercise when it benefits one but doesn't benefit the other. So I don't wanna hear that.
We'll take a look at it.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
No?
Yes, I remembered my previous comment, and that is yesterday at 4:30, a major server went down in IT, and departments lost, saved on their, on the P drive and the H drive into February. So they're working feverishly on trying to reclaim data and get that server up to speed. Dave Holcomb and his team, Scott and Colin, have been working on it. They had to rebuild a server yesterday, and that late in the afternoon, and so this morning, that's what they're working on and trying to bring things back. So if there's any kind of loss, or I don't know if there's any connection between the two in here, but the county right now is having severe issues with a server, so stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you. Manager's comment,
Okay, we're done.
huh?
We're done with the public comment?
Oh, no, I didn't see, did you have something?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I wasn't sure, I came in late, so I wasn't sure what you had on the agenda, but, what's the, I know different years there's been a maximum amount of materials that you would spread on the roads for the township? Is there a number for
Gravel
that?
or
Gravel or limestone or whatever?
1,500.
1,500, that's it. So to do more than that, you're gonna have to fix something, a project to fix the road then, probably.
Yeah, well,
Well, that's the max for the
that's for the patch.
gravel patching.
If you're gonna do a project like a mile stretch,
Yeah,
we'll
then
set that up as a.
that's an additional deal, okay,
Yes.
all right.
But for just patching in spots.
That's my question about patching the spots.
Yes.
Anything else?
That's it.
Sorry about that, I didn't see it there.
That's all right. I try to be invisible.
You did.
That way you can't say I was here and nobody can prove it.
Thank you. Now, Mary.
Where do I start? Well, I'll start with some Heather and Kevin's updates for what the guys are doing and where she's at with some of the projects. So we're still waiting on contracts for Buckeye Road, west of Trip Road culvert, the Day Road east of Kelso culvert, and Tamarack Road east of 99 culvert. So those three, and they've been on the list for a while. We're just waiting to see if some of the townships aren't interested right now. But some of them we're just waiting on contracts to come back to set those up. The Somerset Road, which is the one that's closed right now at north of Stewart Road. We met with Eagle out there and some of the township reps on Tuesday. Learned a little bit, but there might be some other options that we may be able to look at. So we're looking to have a consultant come out and do an inspection on the footings. Apparently the footings were put in like in '98. So they may not be that bad. And it's the decking, the metal beams and the boards on the decking that's, gone. So we may be able to, if the footings are good, redo a decking or something like that at a lot less cost. And we'll see how that goes. Eagles seem to be okay with if we could do something like that, leave those existing footers and just put a deck on it. I think they'll be okay with it. We went down and looked at the downstream tube, which is a smaller tube. It's an 8-foot tube. And the township's like, well, if this is an 8-foot tube, why do we got to go to a 20-foot bridge?
Right.
So we explained to them the process of that, and Eagle did too, that you can't just go down a waterway and fix all the bridges and make them the same size. You fix them when they fail. And so even though this one fails now, and you got an 8-foot down here, or an 8-foot above it that's choking it off, you still have to build this one for what it could and should be. Because eventually that one's going to get fixed, and eventually that one's going to get fixed, and they will be out to those. But, with that being said, and if you go over 20 foot, then that allows funding through federal sources to happen in the future. Because right now, if it's not under 20 foot, it's not considered a bridge, and it doesn't fall under federal grants. So by doing a 21 foot bridge, anytime it happened in the future, they would pay 90% of the replacement or repair. We pay 10% and split it with the township if it's a local.
So they're gonna let us refurbish that maybe?
Well, if we can get the inspection done and if the footings are still good, we can peel that deck off, put a new deck on, and it could probably be like a timber bridge deck, but just the deck, not all the.
Will we have to permit it with Eagle?
I think they'll be okay with it. They pretty much said if you leave those footers alone and
We're
just
good.
deal with the deck, they'll be
We're
good.
good. Okay.
So that could actually significantly reduce
Oh,
the cost.
Huge.
So more to come on that though. We just kind of learned that on Tuesday that they'd be willing to do that. So we're like, okay, let's run with it. The Frontier Road culvert south of Burt Road, they started that yesterday. We're hoping to have it finished today. So that one will be in and taken care of. Bacon Road east of Rumsey Road, the culvert's on order, and we're hoping to get it and have it replaced around the end of April. So we put out an RFP for the engineer and design for the Likely Road Bridge and the Moserville Road Bridges, for both of them. We got all those RFPs back, and I can give you a spreadsheet if you'd like, but basically what it comes down to is we're looking at, we had 6 different companies send us RFPs on it, and they range everywhere from, for different bridges, like I'll say the Moserville Road Bridge ranges everywhere from 73,000 to 399,000.
Huh?
That's the bids that we got. So what we did was we went in and found who's kind of the cheaper one out of all of them, and so Rowe is the low bidder, I would say, for both bridges, and we want to lump them together so that one contractor, one consultant does both bridges. So Rowe Construction would come out to about $191,700 for both bridges. And that's for the engineering design. Then they all kind of go up from there all the way up to, like I said, one company would, if you pick them for both bridges, would be pushing just shy of $1 million.
Oh.
So there's a wide array of it. So Moserville Road for Rowe, they're calling out 95.9, and for Likely Road is 54.8. And so we add those together. No, I'm reading the wrong one. Heather's gonna yell at me here in a minute. The final one for Moserville is 117.9, and Likely is 73.8. Yeah, it's 191.7. And they, to combine the 2 bridges together, they're the cheapest to go with. And so I would like a authorization to select them and pick them as for the RFP.
So move.
Sure. Have we worked with them before?
Yes, I've worked with them in other places too, but I think Heather's good with them too.
And where are they
I
from?
want to say they did one of the other bridges here
Montgomery
recently.
Road, I think.
And where are they from?
Road construction. I don't have it with me, it's on my desk.
Okay.
Heather will probably tell me here in a second.
Is she at the front office? She can't hear you.
Oh, she got a computer.
Oh.
Oh, here it is, Flint.
Okay.
So all the engineering firms are kind of scattered all over, I would say the lower half of the lower peninsula. They just, whether it's Grand Rapids, Flint, Detroit, Livonia, that's where a lot of them come from.
Any other questions for me? Not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
All right, so the Hartley Road and Likely Road Bridge has been submitted there for the application for the earmark from Representative Warts, and that was submitted back on February 13th. We've also submitted that bridge as part of our local bridge program applications, and we're just still waiting to see if if one comes in, the other one will go away, and vice versa. The critical bridge applications, we did submit the Hartley and Likely Road Bridge, the Dimmer Road Bridge west of Hillsdale Road, and the Pittsburgh Road north of Hartley. Like I said, if we get the funding for the Hartley, Likely, then from Representative Warts' office, we'll just pull the earmark for that one. So Monte Carlo Drive in Rapallo Court, which is in Amboy Township. it's kind of getting a little convoluted, but at one time we thought we had 66% of the residents on there, want to press ahead with it. It's basically an estimated $400,000 to $500,000 project to pave that entire stretch. Since that time, one of the residents has pulled his support, which then takes the support down to about 30%. So I met with the township board last night. I went to the meeting. We talked it out. I think the township, or not the township, the residents that are mainly on Rapallo Court are all in favor of it. I think there's 2 that said no, but all the rest of them were in favor, and they had a representative from their association there last night to say, that they wanted to press through with it. However, now with only basically a Rapallo Court wanting to do it, I don't see where we can, because if it's a special assessment, we need to have 50+1 as a minimum. Originally, the township was asking for, they wanted to see like an 80% want to do it. But there's like half of the lots on there are blank lots, they're empty lots. So it's just the residents that live there want to do it, but there's a lot of empty lots that are would also get assigned a special assessment, and that could be a very big political football there. I don't think it's totally dead, but we need to do a little more research to see if we can't get that support back or what. Just so you're aware, and just to fill you back in, this whole thing started because a resident wanted it paved out in front of their place from Sellers past their property. We said, well, that's okay, but we're not going to do it until we talk with the rest of who else involved in that subdivision kind of thing. We sent out letters, they did petitions, some people signed petitions and gave us support. And then basically now that he's kind of pulled his support, we don't have enough people to do a special assessment. I think they would still like us to look into it. The residents would like us to still look in to see what we can do, if we can do something. I don't know. Well, there's more to come. We thought we were, until the other day, thought we were moving along with it, but I guess I just wanted to update you on that and tell you there's more to come. Let's see, our issue with the Pittsburgh Road property, we sent out certified mail to the adjoining property owners when we gave them till April 30th to submit back an offer. And hopefully we can get an offer for both sides just to split it down the center of the road and be done with it, because we don't really need it. It's just kind of I don't know how we even wound up with it back in the 30s. But it's a 1 acre block that the road runs through. So we'll wait, and when we get those back, see what they give us. So Heather's also reviewing crash reports, throughout the county to see if there's any potential for, we got safety grants coming up that could update any existing guardrail. And so I don't know if we have any of the old Texas turn down that just goes into the ground, those they don't even want anymore, they want them gone. But all the endings and all that kind of stuff have been updated, and she's getting the crash data to validate, put in for a safety grant to repair or not. You can't repair and you can't put in new, but you can replace existing that's out of spec. So that's what she's working on. The Lewis Emery County Park Pond number 6 dam is in very poor shape. We've got an inspection due that we have to have done by the end of the year and report back to MDOT, them association, not association, but their department. And then they have to do that. We're mandated to do like a 5-year inspection on it. I would like to see that removed dismantled, destroyed, and just put a cross culvert in. But we'll have to see if they're willing to let us do that too. Because there's actually, these structures are, I believe, on every pond, and across all these ponds, that we're responsible for somehow. They were written in way back when they were put in, and it specifically calls out the road commission as the responsible for those structures. The worst one, like I said, is Pond 6 that goes under State Road, and if it fails, it would let at least all of Pond 6 loose.
Yeah.
And definitely flood out some residents that are over there, because there's another structure back in there
Right.
that's privately owned that is limiting that.
That structure's been bad for a long time.
And every time I drive by, I look at that and I'm like, it's crumbling and it's almost to water level, you know.
We put steel in behind those boards because they just kept rotting out.
So we have that. We're looking to get a contractor and another engineer to come out and do an estimate and do the inspection on it. Tell us where it sits, what has to be done, what can be done, and then we'll go from there. But right now, we're just gonna have to, again, probably go out for an RFP or maybe just request some quotes for, because that won't be as detailed as just one structure. And we'll see what we get back and what they tell us. Right now, we've got a bid out for concrete repairs for M99 through, it's an MDOT, like we do every year. They're gonna do concrete repairs. It's just another one for this year, and it's out right now, and when it comes in, we'll have you approve that, and then MDOT has to approve it also, and we'll continue on like we have in the years past. So it's between, on 99, between US 12 and the Industrial Parkway. So it's that same general area they've been working for the last year or two. Let's see. We're still gonna need to get our crews out to Gilmore Road to finish that up, between Reading and Lilac Road. Some of these water issues are causing us problems with getting crews and having to deal with these, so as soon as we get them, we'll be out there. The state crews are working on coal patching, trimming some brush, and then they're out scraping shoulders today to try to get them shaped back up after some of the washouts that we ran into with the rain. The county crews, of course, are out coal patching, scraping. They've had all of them out scraping the gravel road yesterday along with the graders. I think we got a lot of them scratched up, but until the truck scratch up a lot of them, until the graders come through and actually can cut them, there's still going to be some holes or rough spots that the trucks can't cut. But as soon as the graders can get through them, we'll take care of that. Let's see. They have been cutting trees where we get tree requests and grinding the stumps, doing canopy work. So as far as the brush mowing, we're in the northwest corner of the county. And that'll be the corner that gets the brush spray this year. So we cut the brush back and the new growth comes out, and then they spray it in the fall to help kill the brush and stuff. So that's where we're at with that one. As you know, we had a pickup blow its engine, and so we're looking, and that'll be part of another thing here that I tell you. So we're looking to get some of that equipment purchased, and let's see, limestone patching. The contractor should finish hauling the limestone to our Stevens pit, and then they'll start hauling limestone to our Osseo pit for the different projects where we're doing the limestone for the gravel patching. And, I did just work with him today. They're having a hard struggle like everybody else with the fuel, and so they've asked for a
Fuel surcharge.
Fuel surcharge. They recognize that we don't have to, but I think it's only fair to at least help. So they originally came to us and asked for us an 11% surcharge. We replied back, it's about a 5%. And so they seem to be, and there's a long story there too, but they seem to be okay with the 5%. and I just talked to him today, 5% would actually add for limestone, for that limestone they're hauling, would add $1.25 a ton to the cost. So I asked him, okay, so instead of the 5%, would you take a flat $1 per ton? You know, just instead of 24 or something, it'd be 25 something a ton. He said he could agree with that, but I told him I was gonna bring it to you guys.
This isn't the first time we did it. Back in March of 22, it was 5% surcharge. July of 22 was 7%. April of 23 was 6%. June of 23 was 3%, and then it went away in July.
So we haven't had a surcharge since then,
Yeah.
and now that everything spiked, they had a couple of theirs, I guess they said that it went up 48%. Just like other not for us, but other contracts.
Right.
And so I don't see where, I think with $1 per ton, we can keep everything within the contracts that we've already signed and you've already approved. We can be close, and if we need to, we can spread the surcharge too.
So those bids, they were, bid on tonnage,
Yes,
based on tonnage?
yes.
And so does a 5% surcharge make sense in the amount of fuel that it takes that truck to run? I mean, how do those dollars work?
It would, I mean, it's like they're gonna bring us a 50-ton load usually, thereabouts, because they're doing a gravel train. And so you're talking $50 for that extra run. So
I don't buy much fuel on
you're
that.
talking 10 gallons. At today's price, but, so I don't think that's outrageous. I think the 11 or more is getting a little high, but, again, it's up to you guys if you wanna.
I think it's fair.
And if it is, I don't know if we need to do anything with it. I can get back in touch with them and tell them we can go with it.
I'm sure
So,
as soon as it
or do you want?
comes
Do you
down.
want?
No. My belly growled really loud, and I thought that's why.
I thought you said really?
No. I was like, oh, it's just my belly.
You're talking to yourself, huh?
Where's
All
the
right.
candy?
I know, right? I left it in the other room.
Okay, so moving on.
General
Just a reminder, we started our summer hours 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday on the 6th, on Monday. Our night crew also ended on the 6th, and they came back to day shift. And we're moving all of our equipment from the outside garages today back into Hillsdale. And so all the employees will, on Monday morning, report here. We won't have any of the outlying garages open. Let's see. Our maintenance garage has started working on all of our equipment, getting it in and checking it out for, the paver and the chip spreaders and we had the distributor up getting fixed at the contractor. So all that kind of, the rollers, all that's coming in, getting checked, make sure they're good to go when the plants and everything start opening up.
Do we have an anticipated opening date of the blacktop plants?
They haven't told us when they're gonna open yet. And really, normally that goes by MDOT. If MDOT has a big project coming, they'll open up for them. If MDOT doesn't have a big project until a certain time, that's about when they're gonna open up. So, cause that's their major,
Cash cow.
what we get from them is a drop in the bucket. They're just kinda like, yeah, come get some, and, we get it and haul here and patch our stuff. So when we hear when they're gonna open up, we'll put that out. We are in the process of hiring our seasonal personnel. We had, I believe, 5 returning that's come back in the past. 1 or 2 of them do patching, 2 or 3 of them run the swing arm mowers. And then all the extras, we're gonna wind up, I believe, with about 12 or 13 total. That's for flaggers and crack seal, and to help do some, I don't know about inspecting, but putting out the traffic counters, that kind of stuff for other stuff. So we've got most of them. I think we've still got one or two that are still open that we're trying to get, but we're about there. And we had them come in and do their physicals and that kind of stuff. When are we planning on most of them starting?
May 4th.
Okay.
As soon as I get everything back and everything's good, I will call them, let them know on the start date, and go from there.
Okay, so that's, and we can go over it later if you want, but this is kind of like our spreadsheet that I was talking about Rapallo Court. Who said yay, who said no. Some of them came back with address, not like an incorrect address, even though that house is sitting there with that address on it. But some of them came back saying incorrect address. And so it's just kind of an idea of who's wanting to do it. Let's see. We also are needing to put out an RFP to, I guess, for next year's audit.
For 26, 27, and 28.
Okay, yeah, 26, 27, 28. To have them give us proposals and who we want to have do the audit. So if you're good with that, we've got an RFP that we're building and we'll send that out. Once those come back, we'll come back to ask you who you'd like to pick. I believe last month we opened the bid tab for curb sweeping, and we had a question on the cost because it was so much different. I contacted the company. They said no, that's right. So and they go out about 6 digits. 5.1 cents a square foot or a linear foot. Sorry. And so at that point, I recommend that you award the curb sweeping bid, the RFB 31-26 to CSA of Michigan, which is Sweeping Contractors of America.
How big was the spread?
What's that?
He wasn't
How
here
big
when we
was the
opened it.
spread?
Well, the normal contractor that we've used came in at 20 cents linear foot, and they came in at 5.1.
Wow. That is quite a difference.
So I would say I'm not familiar with them. Their references have a couple other road commissions in the state and a couple like villages and stuff like that. They're kind of moving from the south up into Michigan. So I would say we ought to try it and
Gotta try it.
see how it works. They've got a fleet of vehicles that should be able to handle it, and apparently they're big enough to take care of it. And he didn't even balk when I asked him. He said, "No, that's exactly right." Like, all right.
This other company that was at 20 cents, they've always been where?
And we've been using that for years.
Yeah, they've been the cheapest one.
Where is Seven Hills?
That scares me.
Right after 6 Hills.
West of Columbus.
That scares me.
It's west of
Yeah, it's
Columbus.
just west of Columbus.
Just before 8 Hills.
Yes. Between 6 and 8.
That puts it in the general area.
But don't they do a lot of work up around Detroit? I thought that.
Yeah, I think they had some there, but I think they did Genesee County, and so they're gradually
That's farther
moving
north
up.
than us.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
But this is the first time that I know of that they've ever
Bid it.
bid.
do you want a motion now, or do we wait?
We can do it now.
Or was that later on in the
Yeah.
old business? Okay, sorry.
But you're fine.
So I move we approve the low bid.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. There we go.
That's CA of Michigan.
So the next thing is approving a couple or a policy and the work rules that we gave you a meeting or two ago. So all right, so the work rules really, there's minimal changes to this, is exactly the same as the old work rules, other than the old work rules for the lunch are referred to, the contract called for a 20-minute lunch, now it's a 30, so we changed it in here to make that match with the contract of the CBA. And added, let me find it. I think that's good.
Read you on that one.
On page 4, item P was added into it, and it falls under group 3, which is offensive, resulting in a possible penalty as follows. The first offense is written warning, second offense is a written warning and 2-day suspension, and the third offense is discharge. And so P actually it quotes out disrespectful conduct towards the employee supervisor. There is one in for insubordination, but that's a hard one to define and defend as to what is insubordination. So it's been recommended that we have one in there for just disrespectful conduct. These work rules aren't only for the association members, but it's for all management staff too. And I believe those are really, other than we changed the revised date, those are the only changes that were made to that. And so that's one that has to be signed, approved and signed.
Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Support.
Any other questions? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion
Here's the one for you guys to sign. I'll keep all the top stuff and just pass the back page. Sorry.
We have adopt this 508 too.
Oh, that'll be next.
You're jumping around. All those are on the agenda. It's confusing me.
Take notes.
Did you want us to do the 508 now, or?
Well, I didn't think about it being on the agenda farther back, but yes, I can go right to it.
We'll just go ahead and do that then.
All right, so is it all, the other all good?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we also have policy 508, which originally we had to approved this back in November of '24, and I numbered it 102. We kind of come up with a new numbering system to separate out the categories of policies. And so this drug and alcohol policy is now gonna be 508, and the only real change that's done to it, because this was a big concern for the association, is on page 2, item H, under reportable accidents. That first sentence is all exactly the same. The only thing that was added is, or in the sole discretion of the manager due to carelessness or neglect causes property damage estimated to exceed $2,000. So the only thing that was really added there, that used to be, the old one says $500. It doesn't take much to do $500 on a, I mean, you can scratch something not anymore and it costs $500. And we were sending people down to get a drug test every time we damaged something that was like estimated to be $500, and then they're out of service until that drug test comes back. And so I would like to bump that to 2,000, and then we added in the sole discretion of the manager due to carelessness or neglect. Because really, and the original one states a job-related incident or job-related accident which results in personal injury or requires off-site medical care or treatment. So that's really the only change we make to it.
I would move that we adopt policy number 508.
Support.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. You gotta sign that.
So because these directly affect the association members, both work rules and the drug testing policy, we're gonna set up a meeting and meet with all the employees and brief them on any of the changes, and probably first part of next week.
Pick a rainy day.
We'd like to.
Is it supposed to rain next week? Oh,
That's about every day.
perfect.
At least 3 or 4 are predicting.
All right, while you're signing that, I'll go through a few more things. I've been working with Pivot Energy, which is a solar company that's wanting to put in the 2 solar fields. There's one on the corner of Somerset Road and Vickery Road, up in the northeast corner, and there's one down by the corner of Card Road and M49. So we've been working on a road use agreement, and they came back and asked, instead of doing a bond or a cash escrow, they've said, well, we just take a cash payment. Here's the money, you fix the roads when we're done. And I think that's that's what I was trying to get them to begin with, because I feel it's just too hard to get money out of a bond or deal with the escrow and all that. If they're willing to give us the money that we've asked for originally, which was $100,000 for the Card Road project and $200,000 for the Vickery and Somerset project, I told them I'd bring that to you and get back with them if that was good. So basically what we intend to do is $100,000 on Card Road. It's about 1/3 of a mile from M49 to past their entrance or where the field's gonna be. And so we're gonna put a 2-inch HMA cap on that to heal that all in. And then we're also gonna put a 2-inch cap on Vickery Road from 127 to Somerset and re-gravel Somerset. Probably the entire mile, because I don't want to stop in the middle there, but the entire mile, we're gonna take so much for the gravel and get that road done, and then whatever's left, we'll pave the thickness of asphalt we need to there. Technically, that portion of Vickery Road, Jackson County takes care of. I talked with Angie, she was good. She said, if you're working with them on other things, work with them, and what you work out will be good for us. And I told her it'd probably be a 2-inch cap that would get put on Vickery Road, and they're like, okay, but it's just 1 mile of it.
Right.
They've still got 2 more miles, and we've still got like 3.5 miles of Vickery Road that I understand is bad, but that one mile will be good. So if you're willing to accept the cash payment for both of those from them, that's what I'm asking.
That's better than a bond, cause it could end up in court with a bond.
So what were the cash amounts again?
100,000 for Card Road, and 200,000 for Vickery, Somerset.
And this will be in a written type of a contract.
Yes. We've got a whole road use agreement, and there's just one blurb in there that talks about, originally it talked about a bond, we were like, no, not a bond, so they went to escrow, and they're almost to the escrow stage, and then they came back saying, what about just pay it, which I asked them to begin with, so it'll be part of that road use agreement contract,
What's the length of road on Card that's getting paid?
about a third of a mile.
A third of a mile.
It basically comes off of 49, it goes to where there's one field right on the corner, they're going in the second field, and then it dives over a hill and goes to a low spot, and I think we plan on going over the hill and getting to the low spot. And there's one house that comes in there, but other than that, it's kind of swampy after that, but.
I thought paving 1 mile stretch of road was closer to 400,000.
It depends on
Not
what
for
you
an,
do.
not for just an overlay.
I understand, that's why I'm asking the question.
If it's just an overlay, and we'll have to adjust the thickness of it to make that go.
And that mile section and third mile section, an overlay will fix what needs to be done, or is that putting Band-Aid on a?
Well, it's not a new road, and it won't be a new road, but it fixes any damage that they would have done to the road.
So these things will be done after they're finished.
Yes. And this is a very small solar project. It's like, I think the one field is maybe 20 acres, and the others might be 30 or 40. It's all in one spot, you know. They're not using laydown yard and putting all the material in the laydown yard and then taking it to each spot. Each spot will have its own laydown yard, so it comes directly off of 49 into there, and it comes directly off 127 into there. And so they really aren't traveling a lot of roads or nothing, but, and they don't run overweight loads, they just run a lot of loads.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Plus they're building roads and then trains come in. And there goes our roads.
But Heather's done up the estimates that's where we came up with those. Originally, I think we were figuring 100 for Card and, well, actually 275 total. And then they wanted to split it up into 2 projects, because they've got it labeled as 2 projects. And so instead of the 275, we went with 100 and 200. So it actually went up another 25 from what we had figured. But
You just need approval, consent.
yes, please.
I'm fine with it.
I move we approve the
I'll support.
agreement.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Okay, on to the other solar field, which is Heartwood/Primoris.
It's the one in Fayette
That's the
Township.
Fayette Township, that's the big one in Fayette, and I think they're the ones trying to expand that's causing all the commotion, but this has nothing to do with any kind of expansion. This is the existing original solar fields. So again, we're working with them, we went out and rode the roads and to fix some of these roads up that they've been hauling on, and so they agreed to re-gravel, and it's just a whole list of gravel roads around their stuff. And I believe we came out to almost 200,000 just to re-gravel those roads. And then also Jonesville Road and Bunn Road are paved roads that go by their laydown yard and roads that they've used. They've also got a contract to paver patch and fix all the spots and then chip seal those 2 roads. And that's also pushing 200,000. So when and they're projecting to be complete with their construction, is what they call it, on the 21st of April. So it's 2 weeks. And at that point, all their big trucks, heavy trucks, or multiple trucks will then basically be pickups and that kind of 1 tons, that kind of stuff, small vehicles that you'd normally have. So their construction should be curtailed. And at that point, that's when they want us to come in and start doing all the roads is after the 21st. So they have to give us, still sign the contract and send it back to us, and we'll go from there.
Are they taking the lay down parking out?
Not that I know of, I think that's gonna stay,
That's
cause I
all
think
I'm
that's intended to be, again, if they get any kind of extension, they'll just use